Hello, everybody. Happy Monday. I hope you all having a wonderful day. And I played that song because that was written and performed by Stevie Wonder for Martin Luther King Jr. Now, his birthday is January the 15th, but we actually celebrate him on every third Monday in January. And so some days it falls on other days outside of the 15th. So like today is the 17th. So happy MLK Day. Today is the day where we celebrate the wonderful and great Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. for all the wonderful things that he contributed to this country. Now, this design is going to be a part of my 35 for 35 designs, where I'm doing 35 designs within my 35th year of life. So please follow that hashtag 35 for 35 design, where you can see this design on my previous designs and the last few designs that I have left. We are nearing the end of this series. So I'm going to create a wreath in honor of Dr. Martin Luther King Day. Now, you all know me. Before we actually get into the actual design, I want to give you all a brief history on MLK Day and its importance. And I know that I have some followers who aren't necessarily here in the U.S. So while you might know about Dr. Martin Luther King, you might not have all the knowledge. So I just wanted to give you all some brief history on this day. Okay, so according to www.history.com, Martin Luther King Jr. was a social activist and Baptist minister who played a key role in the American Civil Rights Movement from the mid-1950s until his assassination in 1968. King sought equality and human rights for African Americans, the economically disadvantaged, and all victims of injustice through peaceful protests. He was the driving force behind watershed events such as the Montgomery bus boycott and the 1963 March on Washington. And for you all that know the I Have a Dream speech, that was the march where he actually recited that, which helped bring about such landmark legislations as the Civil Rights Act and the Voting Rights Act. King was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize in 1964 and is remembered each year on Martin Luther King Jr. Day as a U.S. federal holiday since 1986. So yes, that is just a brief history of Dr. Martin Luther King and kind of his contributions. I could talk forever about all the things that he's done, but I would just encourage you to go to www.history.com because it kind of gives you more information about the Montgomery bus boycott and what that was about, and his I Have a Dream speech, which were two of the most famous things that he was involved in. But he did a lot to help this country, particularly, as I stated before, for African Americans during that civil rights time when we didn't have the same rights as everybody. He was one of the many people, but probably the most famous, that was at the forefront of that movement. And so when he was assassinated, shortly thereafter, they introduced a bill to name a federal holiday after him. And so we have been celebrating him and all of the great things that he contributed to this country since then. And so I just thought that today I wanted to show my appreciation for him and all of his great work. So I'm going to create a wreath in his honor. And so here we go. Okay, so I was trying to figure out exactly what could I do. And so I was like, a wreath, excuse me. So, of course, I got the majority of my things from the dollar store. So this, of course, came from the dollar store, and sad face, my Dollar Tree has now increased to $125. I thought I had a few more months before they made that change. But here we are, still fairly inexpensive. So yes, here's a wreath. I got some red roses and some white flowers or excuse me, I'm sorry, and white roses. They're red and white roses. It's kind of the perfect time because it's Valentine's Day. And I chose to go with those colors because I did some research on him to try to figure out more than I knew about him, to try to figure out exactly what I wanted to do. And so when I kind of looked at his funeral service, or his homegoing celebration, as we stated in the Black community, I saw that they had some red, white, and blue wreaths, because they consider him an American hero. And, you know, the American flag has red, white, and blue in it. So that's why I did the red and white. I didn't really find too many blue flowers that I liked. I could have ordered some, but I didn't want to do that. I'm just going to stick with the red and white. And so then I have some pins that I'm also going to put on the wreath, excuse me. And so this one I'm going to show you all, give you a close-up. It's Dream, and that's a picture of him. And of course it has the red, white, and blue on it. And then 2 other pins, which are fist. Okay, sorry. Here's a red one, and here's a black one, right? I love these pins. I got the pins from Amazon. Everything else came from the Dollar Tree. And so generally, like the fist, African American people, we know this is like power to a people united, we're all one. So I'm going to incorporate that on my wreath today. So here we go. Okay, so if you all know from my one of my past videos, at the end of the year last year, I did a wreath. It was a larger one. It was my first time doing one. That was just like that wired, like metal black wreath. This one is styrofoam, so it's my first time doing this type of a wreath. So hopefully it goes well. So I'm going to take these pieces off. Let's see. And then I'm just going to stick it into the styrofoam. And so I'm going to do a variety of colors. Excuse me, a variety of the red and the white. Oh, this one is kind of messed up, so I'm just going to leave that alone. Ooh, see, it fell off. Okay, so this is what I'm just going to start off with to just kind of see how I want to fill it out. And then we will go from there. So... oh, perfect. Start with red. I'm just going to try and space it out a little as best I can. Again, I'm just kind of starting with the bases, and then I'll go back and fill in as I need to. So the thing about this styrofoam is you really have to push it in, or it will come back out. Like that popped right out. So let's go around. So my parents, you know, were alive when Dr. King was around and when he was assassinated. They were young. And my grandparents obviously were older, so they told me some amazing stories about while they weren't actively involved in a lot of the protests, they like saw his speeches and things, you know, during when it was being televised. And so it's very interesting to hear their perspective on him and, you know, just kind of the great works that he does. And I just want to say that now he's kind of held in high regards, but during that time when he actually was alive, he was not getting this same praise. It did not come until so much later. So, you know, I just want people to know that, because it was not always a positive thing. They thought he was a troublemaker, and so he had a lot of challenges. And then, of course, he ultimately was assassinated for his beliefs. But I am grateful for him, because no matter what, he kept going. He was arrested, he was stabbed, he was placed in jail, but it never stopped him. So that is the wonderful thing about him. this is like the very basis. Show you all what's going on. Okay. Just gotta be careful. Like I said, just make sure you stick this all the way down. I'm going to move this over. Maybe put another red here. Oh. And then the white. You have to be careful with these also because some of the plastic is coming up, and so then it's making the flowers kind of come apart. Let me stick this here. Okay. And then again. Okay, so this is what I have so far, but I'm not finished. So that way I don't bore you all too much. I am going to go and kind of fill this out a little bit more, then I'll come back and we will apply the pins. All right, see you in a few. All right, everyone, so I am back. And so I finished putting all the flowers on the wreath. Here we go. Isn't it beautiful? So this is all the, I had a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Different stems. So I just took all the flowers off, and here we go. So here is what it looks like with the flowers, but I'm not finished. Like I said, I want to add a little bit more to what we have. So here are the pins. Like I said, these came from Amazon. The fists came together, and then the MLK Dream was separate. I think it was about $7, and this might have been about $4 or $5 for these two. Okay, so these are lapel pins. So let's see how I can do this. I know it's going to be a bit challenging, but I want this to be. So I think the easiest thing to do to maybe stick it through these two leaves, actually, because I have to consider that it'll be up. Let's just do this for now. Maybe I'll stick it this way. Okay, be careful. Pin. Try to get it through. Oh, there it is. Stick this here. There's that. See, it's on there. Okay. Oops. You gotta be careful with this foam. I might go back and reinforce these with glue because they keep knocking them out. Or just push them down far enough. I should say that. Okay. So we have the king that's there, and then we'll just stick one of these over here. Again, I'm just gonna put it this way because I have to account for that this will be on a door. So if I stick them in this way, then I'm just trying not to stick myself also with the pin. Let's see, did it go through? It's not. Oh, this one is a little shorter than the other one. Oh, okay, there it is. And we're just gonna try and get it through a couple flowers. Okay. Of course, then we'll just stick this in the back. So there's that. Okay, and now this last one, which is red. Just want to stick this over here. Of course, you just gotta oh. All right, and there you have it, my little pens. Here's this one. Oh, I might have to do something to move that back. And then here they go. So these are my pens. Yep, and this is my MLK wreath. So there you have it. That was easy and quick and something that I wanted to do to honor Dr. King. So again, Dr. King, he was a great, great, great man, a civil rights activist, but he's also just considered an American hero because what he did for African Americans actually contributed to the entire country. For example, the Voting Rights Bill, which I believe they are talking about making some changes to that today. So I'm just grateful for him. Because of what he did, I'm able to have the opportunities that I have as an African American woman. And so I just want to remind you all that I hope that today was just not a day that you got off. If you got it off, most people did because it's a federal holiday. But if you got it off, I hope you actually do something in his honor. Whether it's you read more about him, you can contribute to any civil rights or equality organization somehow, whether it's money or you spend your time with them. You could watch a movie about him or anything about the civil rights movement. Just try to do something that will honor him, something that would make him happy and would continue on his legacy. Now, something that I forgot to mention was just the main thing was Dr. King was about nonviolence. He was about love, and he definitely was about equality for everyone. So again, we're grateful for him. I'm so glad that they made this a holiday. So I'm going to end with a song called You Gotta Be by Desiree. I was trying to figure out what's a great song that would incorporate this day. And I thought that this song was appropriate because she talks about, you know, all of the things that to me would incorporate a leader, somebody like Dr. King. And at the end, she said, love will save the day. And he was really about love and how that could help us move forward. So please celebrate it. It's just not a day for Black people to celebrate. It's a day for everybody to celebrate and to give back, to be grateful for the rights and the freedoms that you have, and to continue the fight. Because while Dr. King did a lot, we still have a lot of ways to go. So let's end this with You Gotta Be.